Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do a love oracle, affirmations love oracle for today. Today is Wednesday, February 25. February 25. Why did I say it like that? February 25th, 2026. You may follow me on the Talk, the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates. It all might resonate. Affirmations love oracle. It's Crystal Banner. The price of love. We got one on the table, two on the table. Have you guys ever heard the theory about the butterflies? Like when you feel that butterfly feeling, that's not like love at first sight. That's not like, ooh, I love them. That the butterfly feeling is the feeling that you get when your body's telling you absolutely fucking no. Did you guys know that? Another reader that I watch religiously, I love him to death, keeps saying that. Like he said it like 3 or 4 times now. And I'm like, I need to see this new theory. I need to see it written somewhere. I need proof. I mean, I guess it would make sense when you think about it. Like you would meet somebody, right? And you would get butterflies. And originally people would think like, oh, that's my person, love at first sight. But really it would be your body literally telling you on the highest scale possible that it's so disgusted with whoever, like on a spiritual level, when you think about it, that it's so disgusted with the energy you just came into contact with, that it's literally like eating the insides of your body. Do you know what I'm saying? Like really, when you think about it, it makes sense. I never thought of it like that. 3 on the table. We're going to do 2 more shuffles after this. I never thought of it like that, but now that I think about it, like I can't stop thinking about it. If you watch this and you have an opinion, put it in the comments because I would love to hear it. If you've heard this before, if you knew this from I didn't know this. I was always told the butterfly feeling was like ooey gooey happiness. Like, is that something that we were told on purpose as a lie? Like, hey, believe this, even though it's not true? What? I don't know, y'all. Last shuffle. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just like women have been talking a lot. You see it on TikTok a lot lately. If you're not on TikTok, don't worry, you're not missing out. It's not what it used to be. However, they still sometimes have some good postings on there. And there have been postings on there from women saying that, you love your mother, you love your grandmother, your great grandmother, right? But women realistically looking at these past women in their life, right? These figures, these feminine figures in their life that are supposed to be there to guide and support them. They're now realizing their mothers, their grandmothers, their great grandmothers were grooming them to become wives and childbearers and homemakers and to take abuse and to not say anything and to keep quiet. And it's funny because I think as women, when we grow up, even young, like younger women, kids, teenagers, young adults, like we don't look at it like that. Like when we experience rape and trauma and sexual assault and physical assault, we always tend to think, we automatically go to like, oh, it's your fault, so keep quiet, don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. Just put it in the box, put it in the closet on the shelf, close and lock the door, turn off the light. But in reality, when you think about it, because there's those generational curses that you're supposed to overcome, because your mothers, your grandmothers, your great grandmothers all went through the same thing. Really, when you think about it, a lot of them, not all of them, okay, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them went through the same things and didn't say anything, and then watched you grow up and let you go out there and marry the love of your life and have your children and be a homemaker and be completely unhappy and depressed. And I don't think, here's my thing. Like, I would have loved to have had kids. I would have loved to have had kids. I would have loved to have had a stable energy that I could have had kids with. I would have loved that. It did not happen. But here's the thing. I think when you do those things, when you get married, you have kids, you build a home, and you give up a part of yourself, and you don't keep that part of yourself active, right? That creative part of you, the part of you that makes you who you are, that is when you become stagnant. That is when you become depressed. That is when you become unhappy. That is when you are not happy with the situation. It's not that you don't love your spouse. It's not that you don't love your kids. You don't love yourself because you aren't who you were always supposed to be. But it's funny because now women are talking about how, like, their mothers, their grandmothers, their great grandmothers didn't say anything. They're like, yeah, go get married, go have those kids, you're going to be so happy. No, you're not. But when you think about it, that's all a part of what a generational curse is. Like, you're supposed to break that curse. You're supposed to go out there, and not to toot my own horn or anything like that. And I wasn't by any means the first person in my family to get a divorce, but I've said this before. My parents should have gotten divorced like 30 something years ago. They were always unhappy. My mother was always unhappy, as she had a right to be. That's she got married, she had kids. It wasn't for her. You know, I can look at it from the outside and recognize, like, she was a woman. She thought she had to get married. She thought she had to have kids. She wasn't happy. My parents should have gotten divorced a long time ago. I think they both would have had the chance for happiness individualistically, right? If they had went off, got divorced, did their own thing, found another person, maybe found their soulmate, maybe found the person they were supposed to be with, right? And maybe not. Maybe they weren't supposed to be with anybody else. Maybe they were supposed to get divorced and, be single and be productive and, whatever that means for them. When I got married, and I was married for almost 7 years, and I just, like, I couldn't do it anymore. I felt like I was suffocating. I felt like I was dying there. And it wasn't even necessarily the ex-husband. I'm not saying he didn't play a role in anything, but I'm saying, like, it was me. It was not for me. It was not the right person. It wasn't the right time. And you see all that after the fact. Anywho, I went off on a educational tangent there that probably wasn't all that educational, because you guys probably already know this thing. You're all smarter than me. What am I talking about? I'm not a teacher. I'm a learner. All right, we got 4 with bottom of the deck. We've got follow your heart. We've got contract. We got interference. Interference. And then bottom of the deck, we've got drama. Drama. Wow. So I don't know if somebody, like, already met, like, their soul contract, their soulmate, however you want to say that, or you're going to. I think that, hold on, I totally forgot my phone was in my pocket. Let me make sure it's on silent, because, there we go. I don't know if you're currently going through this, or somebody's going to come into your life and it's going to feel absolutely amazing, and there's going to be some kind of drama. The only thing I can say is nothing is ever perfect. I mean, nothing is ever perfect. It's funny because I was watching The Reader last night, my favorite reader that I was just talking about. He did his one reading. I can't remember who it was for. I always watch Aries because I'm an Aries moon. I watch Virgo because I'm a Virgo rising, and I watch Gemini because I'm a Gemini. I cannot remember which one it was. Um, he did this reading, and he's like, do you really want to be with a person that comes to you with like they well well let me just say it like this. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but do you really want to get together with a person that like you had feelings for in the past, but they didn't choose you, okay? Like they chose somebody else, had a family with that other person, and however many months, years later, right? They swing back around and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I should have chose you. Will you take me back? Will you take me now? Can I have you now? Like I like this is over for me. Obviously not if you have kids or whatnot, but like, hey, I'm back. Hey, I'm back. I was always supposed to choose you. And he was like, would you really take that back? He's like, do you really want that back? And it's funny because I think I've told you guys this before. I've told you guys this a lot of times. I know I have. If you follow, if you subscribe, if you've been with me since the beginning, I have said, I don't want a person with kids. Not little kids. I don't want to be raising little kids. I don't want to be fighting with their mother. I don't want to be arguing with about how you should raise kids and how you should discipline them or not discipline. Like I don't want to be involved in that. And the funny thing is on the flip side of that, like technically I could date somebody and they could have a kid and I don't have to be involved, right? That's how it was for me with that's how it was for me with the ex-husband. Like he had a kid that I never met. I didn't meet his kid until it was the year we got married. So like 3.5 years after we got together, then I met his kid. Because his ex-wife controlled everything. She's a little, as my mom would say, nutsy Fagin. Like she's not, and not at all a nice person. I don't know how her second husband and her two kids deal with her. I don't know. And the oldest one knows. I'm not sure the youngest one knows yet how crazy she is, but I digress. I digress. Um, so I dealt with that side, like I watched him have a kid and hang out with his kid and, quote unquote, discipline his kid, but like I was never involved. And it just got to the point where I even told the ex-husband, I said, I don't give a shit about your kid. And he got all offended, like, what do you mean you don't give a shit about my kid? I looked at him, I said, he's not my kid. I said, A, he's not my kid. I said, and B, I don't get any contact with him. Like I don't hang out with you guys, which is fine. Like they should have their father son time where they hang out and do their thing, because he hardly ever got any of that time. My ex-husband hardly ever got to see him. So I always felt like they should have their time together. But I told him, looking from, being on the outside of that situation, like, I don't give a about your kid, you know? I just don't care. And he got mad at me. And I said, you know what? I said, you can be mad all you want. I said, but I didn't meet your kid until 3.5 years after we started a relationship. I said, your kid doesn't come over and visit regularly. He doesn't live here part-time. I'm not involved in anything having to do with him. And it was funny because, or not funny, I think the ex-husband finally went to the ex-wife and said something, because all of a sudden I started getting invited to like his band practice and his chorus and all this shit. And I think I went twice, and then I told my ex-husband, I'm like, I'm sorry, it's too late. Like, and that's just how I felt. That's just how I felt. Like it was too late. Like I have no connection to this kid. I don't give a shit about this kid. He could be, and if you know me, I would never say that about kids. Like I would give my life for a stranger. I would give my life for a kid I don't know. I would give my life for that kid. But when I say I don't care, I mean, like, what do you want me to what do you want me to do? You know, like, I don't want to spend time with him. I don't want to get to know him. In my eyes, that ship had already sailed. And now I'm watching this reading from my favorite guy, and he's like, well, what if they swung back around and that, you know, they had it, this was the person you wanted to be with, and they chose somebody else, and now they got a kid. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, first of all, it probably would depend on the person. It probably would depend on the person, because I feel like there would be some people that it would be worth it to take that person back, and some people it would not. But I also would say this: you swing back around with, you know, a 6 month old, a 5 year old, whatever the case, however many months, years later, and you just assume what? I'm going to drop on my knees in gratefulness that you came back and you chose me the second time around. Yeah, I don't have it in me to yeah. I just and again, I did I say it in this video or did I say it in the other video? I want no, I said it in this video. I wanted kids. I still would love to have a kid. I think I'm a little too old at this point, but I would have a kid or adopt a kid for sure. But my kid, right? Like, even if I adopted a kid, that would be my kid. I would parent that kid. I would love that kid. That's my kid. But when you bring me a kid that's somebody else's, however much time later, and just think like I'm going to drop everything to, you know, raise your kid and love your kid, um, you got another think coming. I don't know. I don't think I have it in me at this late stage in the game to play those games. Having already done it in the past once, I don't think I could do that again. I don't know what this drama is. I brought that up because that was drama. I don't know what this drama. I thought that was a good story, y'all. That took up 10 minutes of time. I don't know what the drama is. But this is why I told that story, cuz somebody's going to have to decide, like, is this worth it? Is is what am I going to do? Is is this where I'm supposed to go? Am I supposed to put up with and deal with this? Everybody knows their threshold for nonsense and stupidity and ignorance. And everybody's is different. What would you put up with, you know, in a relationship for a connection? I don't give a shit if it's soul contract. I don't give a shit if this was soulmate. And it doesn't even really need to be a lover either. We could be talking about a friend, you know, like a friend that's a soulmate, a soul contract. If they're always bringing nonsense to the table, if they're a bullshitter, if everything that they do and say is BS, do you really want to be a part of that? You want to be a part of this? It's karmic, it's toxic, right? That's what it leads to. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let you all decide. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a friendship. It could be a relationship with a family member, a coworker, anything. But it's individualistic. Like, you decide what direction your life is going on, what path you're taking, and what amount of BS you're going to put up with or not. I'm going to leave it there. I hope it resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if anything, you guys were entertained. I hope everybody has a fabulous Wednesday. And I will talk to you later. Bye.